let's find ourselves in a comfortable seat. Yeah, and if you can, fill out that class review form. It'd be very helpful. So always lift your hips above your seat. Maybe you have a really strong seat and you're not curled up, but if you're finding yourself curled up, just give it a try. Put a pillow or 3. I remember I thought I didn't need it, and then my instructor gave me 2 blocks to really just lengthen up that spine. So just settle in and wiggle around a little bit, squeeze the glutes, and we'll come to stillness. And so we'll take 2 fingers, or middle and index finger are my favorite. I'm just gonna find our temples, where those sinus headaches come from. I'm just gonna gently push and do some circles. Just try and identify all these different points in the body through the class. You find this part, for me, it's a little bit in front of my ears, definitely above them. And it's all so connected. So if I can loosen this up, maybe I can deepen my focus a little bit more if this is causing a disruption in my, any excuse that's available. And then we're going to find our jaw, the ever-present tightness in the jaw. So let's just identify it before we start. So find the ball, the base of the jaw, and just push into it. It doesn't have to be really hard. Just give yourself a little circle. Just remind yourself that you're probably going to tighten your jaw through class. As your attention draws to everything else, you try and really do better and improve everything. And sometimes you're doing things that you don't even realize that are not necessarily helping you. They may be even detracting from what you're trying to do. Yeah, a little relaxed jaw, a nice way to start class. So shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Squeeze your shoulder blades gently together and let them roll down the back. Find a comfortable seat. Draw the thumb and the index finger together and place them on your legs. Inhale, feel the crown of the head rise. And gently lower your gaze or let your eyelids come to a gentle rest. Come into this space for 1 hour and see if you can keep your attention in this room, in this moment. Start scanning through your body, beginning at the crown of your head. Notice how the rest of your scalp feels compared to where you touched in your temples. Notice how your jaw feels, and the rest of your face. Slowly scan all the way down, reaching your shoulders. Taking a moment to just examine and reflect. Notice your posture. See if you can draw the crown of your head up with your inhale. Let the shoulders relax down and the hips be heavy on the exhale. Scan the body, looking for any other points of sensation. Maybe one hand is gripping more tightly than the other. Or if you have your legs crossed, there's a different sensation. It all starts with just noticing. Now we'll begin to draw our attention to our breath. We'll breathe in through the nose, feeling the crown of the head rise. And exhale long and slow. We'll attempt to deepen our breath by breathing into the rib cage, feeling the side ribs expand, up into the collarbone at the top of the breath. And exhale, drawing the navel slowly towards the spine. A gentle squeeze at the bottom of the breath. Each inhale, crown of the head lifts just slightly. Each exhale, long and slow, squeezing all the stale air from your lungs. Let's take 3 more breaths together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, long and slow. Let's flutter the eyes open. Let's begin by drawing our arms out and giving ourselves that hug, right arm over left. Reaching around, seeing how far you can reach, and then just squeezing the arms. Inhale, open up. And hug yourself the opposite direction, left arm over right. Just give that gentle squeeze. It's really a shoulder stretch hidden in a hug. And inhale, open up. Let's place that right fingertips down and point the palm up towards the ceiling and find that left side body stretch. Gaze can go up towards the fingers. That left hip nice and heavy. Let's slowly reach that left hand forward towards the right. Bring it down wherever it meets the mat. And then walk your fingers in front and pause. Taking a modified child's pose, let the neck relax. And then we'll continue, walk the hands over to the left. So you can make the right fingertips reach further than the left for a moment. Then place your left hand beside you, raising your right arm. And gaze can fold and look up to the hand. And if that's not comfortable for the neck, look straight ahead or look down. That part is optional. Your right hip is nice and heavy. And inhale, return to center, floating your hands down. Let's take our right ear and let it fall to the right shoulder. Just pause here for a moment. You're welcome to tuck your chin just slightly. Just finding an appropriate stretch for your body. We all stress ourselves in different ways. Inhale, crown of the head returns to center. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Letting that right shoulder just be heavy and gently reaching towards the mat. Find your personal chin tuck. This class is for you. You're here. So if there's something that you can do to make it better for you, please feel free. And you can catch up later to whatever you've missed. It's all being recorded. And then inhale, bring it back to center. So now we're going to do this, like I call it an Egyptian they like to walk like an Egyptian song. So we're going to try and leave our shoulders right as they are and just shift our head to the right, keeping our gaze like our face facing the same direction. And then bring it back to center and shift it to the left. It's really hard for me. And then bring it back to center and push it forward. A little opening through the back of the neck. And then bring it back to center and bring it to the back. Now we'll push it over to the right and forward and to the left and to the back. And you're welcome to return to center each time. If like for me, it's better if I just do it one phase at a time and keep them separate. But if this is pretty easy for you, if you've got those 80s dance moves, just keep going in a circle. Whether you return and reset each time, just finding that edge, examining the muscles that are helping you perform this act. Maybe you feel like a hero, like you're above average, because this is something I struggle with, this particular body control. So go ahead and feel good. Doesn't make me feel any worse. Good to know where you're weak. Let's go one more in each direction. Very nice. We'll do a couple more circular things. So let's remove our block, come onto our backs, and just bend our knees, soles of the feet on the floor. Give yourself some space. And we wiggle the hips around and let them come down. Let's walk our shoulders slightly under. And just breathe for a moment. So as we inhale, our belly rises. You can feel the base of the hips pushing into the mat. And as you exhale, there's going to be some space in the low back. It's not a straight line. Take some nice deep breaths and notice the contours of the spine. You can tuck your chin slightly and keep that nice length through your spine, the back of your neck. You can try a couple of different things, whatever's going to put you in the most open and relaxed space. Really we're going to focus in on the top of the hips, the sacrum. So let's try and push that area to the ground, using that the belly, the abdominal action. So continue to breathe nice and deep, but your whole back is pushed down against the mat. There's always going to be some contours. So keeping that action, we're going to bring our feet up to parallel. So our calves are parallel with the mat. And so keep your low back pushing down into the mat. We're just going to tap our right toes down and left toes down. This is probably pretty simple. So just go nice, slow, steady movements, one at a time. And maintaining that engagement, you're welcome to stay there. But maintaining that engagement, so push that low back into the mat. And we're just going to lower one leg down at a time. So extend the right toes down. Let it hover for a moment. And then really engage. Exhale and draw it up. And go to the opposite leg. Inhale down. Push down with the low back as you exhale and draw it up. And so if this is not challenging enough for you, of course, if it is, this is plenty, and you'd rather do it better than have your back peel up and create an injury during yoga. That's really the cardinal sin. So if this is feeling okay for you, you can squeeze your legs together and then inhale, lower them down until they're 3 inches off of the mat. And then exhale, push that low back down, raise them up. So wherever you're at, and if this is too much, if you feel your low back peeling up after 3 or 4, please go back to the single leg. Working the same muscles. All right, 2 more. Wherever you're at, nice and strong, keeping our form nice. Inhaling down and exhaling up. Then squeeze your knees in. Give yourself a hug and roll side to side. Just waking up that lumbar spine. Let's take the heel behind our knees and just gently rock up and hover and roll back, noticing our vertebrae, waking them up, coming in. And then this time we'll come into a little bit of a boat. So find yourself floating. Notice your shoulders broadening. Bring your legs to straight. Maybe you can release your hands. Maybe you can straighten your legs. Or maybe you're just right here where we started, and that's fine too. Then let's roll back one more time. Re-engage our boat, wherever we're at. But try not to round all the way. So if you have to hold on to get your chest broad, that's just fine. And then roll back again. And come up. We'll stand. That wasn't the smoothest. So find yourself in a standing position. Let about 1 fist, maybe 2 between our feet, so you can just eyeball it. So your second toe is about where your hip points are. But it can modify in or out as you choose. So let's intentionally broaden through the chest. So palms face forward. Inhale, feel the crown of the head rise. Exhale, weight through the heels. Engage the quadriceps. Well, let's just, if it helps to bring your hands to your hips, we're just going to do some circles. Just really just circling, finding the edges of the feet. Bring it onto the outside of the left foot, to the toes, all the way across. Over to the right foot, the outside edge, and then the heel. So you're welcome to look down at your toes, or maybe you can find that steady gaze where you know your feet are there doing what you tell them to do, even though you're not watching specifically. One more circle. And we'll come back to center. We'll go the opposite way. So over to the right side. One toe at a time through the big pinky toe mound, the big toe mound, over to the left side. And notice the different muscles in your leg engaging as your weight shifts. Just creating an awareness. All right, so let's come to stillness. Find those 4 corners of the feet, legs are nice and strong. And now we're just going to do from the hips. So we're going to leave our legs mostly still and just do a little bit more hips. So pushing the hips forward, over to the right, back, pushing them forward. Your glutes are involved. But there's no quivering. We're not over trying on this one. And come back to center. We'll go the opposite direction. Just waking it all up. All those differences. I can really feel that those low back muscles. That abdominis rectus that really supports everything. If you'd ever noticed, there's no bone in the front of your body, the lower abdomen, and That's all muscle. So doesn't the six-pack muscles are really just for show, but you can be strong without having a six-pack. But we get the six-pack, whatever. You can be proud, you can not. And then let's shake it out. Let's shake it out. Let's find our beach ball. So draw our hands out in front of us, about chest width apart. And we're just going to lift the beach ball up to the right, keeping our hips nice and steady. Watch the beach ball go up. And then bring it down on the left side. Up to the right. And see if you can move with your breath. And you're inhaling up, exhaling down. Not in a rush, but just exploring that shoulder. The legs are nice and strong, not wobbly, but not quivering either. We don't have to over-engage. Our core's engaged, but not overly so. Just open the shoulders and go the opposite direction. Yeah, I find myself inhaling, following the gaze up, and then I reach the apex. Exhale. Kind of makes it the timing a little easier. I don't have to overthink. One more. And then we'll let our beach ball go. Shake it out. All right, so now we're going to do these, we'll find our robot arms. So we're going to just move from the elbow and just do these circles. Maybe you can feel it up into the shoulder. But your legs are just where you left them. Your core is still semi-engaged. And return to center. We'll go the opposite direction. Just finding this range of motion. And we'll come back. Now we're going to do these up and down motions. So we're keeping your elbows right where they are. Legs are still nice and strong. We're just going to lower the hands down. And at the bottom, we're going to form fists. Curl the fists in. And then bring them up. Invert the palms. Push your palms down. And in. Draw your fans into a fist. Flex your fists back towards you. And draw them up. I've never got any dance lessons, so my timing isn't fantastic, I'll say. I've gotten better. So just push it down, spread those fingers nice and wide, and then flex those wrists back towards you. Drawing through the wrists. There's always room for a little more wrist. Things we use them so differently than our ancestors did. So if we can find that range of movement, and the next time you bring them down, we'll go the opposite direction. So open them up, and then draw them in towards you. Oh, that feels funny. Let's draw them up with the hands up, and then fold them down. There is a way to do this. So we'll just do it and try and find up with the hands, palms facing you, and then down as we draw the wrists in. I think that's it. As long as we end up and you feel a little bit balanced. So take care of yourself. Your yoga instructors has lost a moment. But it's a good stretch either way. So let's take a couple of wrist circles. So find nice and slow. Just come in. Bring them to the inside, out, and then go the opposite direction, to the outside. Your legs are nice and strong. Nice solid base. All right, let's shake it out. Step to the front of our mat. Draw our hands to heart center. Thumbs come to the base of the sternum. Inhale, feel the crown of the head rise. Exhale, heels go down into the earth. The quadriceps are engaged. Inhale, extend their fingertips down, out, and up. Gaze follows the hands. Exhale, lead with the crown of the head and fold. Brush your fingers against the earth. Nice deep bend in the knees. Inhale, crown of the head rises. Hands come to the thighs, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Nice bend in the knees. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale and fold. Long flat back, micro bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, long flat back and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, draw your hands down to the ground, bend your knees. We're going to step our right foot back. Find that low lunge, so wiggle the hips really quickly. No rush. Then we're going to step our left foot back. Let the hips be heavy. Find your plank. You lower your knees, your chest, and your chin, leaving your butt in the air, keeping your elbows close to the body. And push your hands into the mat. Draw your heels of your hands back towards your hips and find your low cobra. Lifting up through the chest, the crown of the head rises. Then exhale, tuck the toes, push up plank, raise the hips, downward facing dog. Just take a moment, pedal out the legs, and push one heel into the earth and let the other bend, and the other. Taking a few moments, feeling the shoulders broaden in the upper back, the calves, the quadriceps. So much magic in this downward facing dog. Let's bend our knees, gaze between our hands, and step our right foot all the way forward. So your knees stack over your ankle. Step your left foot forward to meet it and fold. Inhale, arms rise. Gaze follows the hands. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms rise. Reaching your fingertips out and up. Exhale and fold. Long flat back. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to your thighs. Crown of the head extends forward. Exhale and fold. Hands come to the mat. Bend the knees. Step the left foot back. Wiggle the hips. Step the right foot back, plank. Letting the hips be heavy. Lifting up through the back of the knees. Extending through the heels and the crown of the head. And then lower your knees, chest, and your chin. Butt in the air. Elbows draw towards each other, squeezing those shoulder blades. Push your hands down and draw your heels of your hands back towards your hips. Untuck the toes. Lead forward with the chest. Then exhale, tuck the toes. Push up, plank. Downward facing dog as you raise your hips. Take a couple of breaths here again. As you're ready, bend the knees, gaze between your hands. Step the left foot forward. Step the right foot forward to meet it and fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll go through a little faster this time. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale and fold, maintaining that long flat back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step the right foot back, step the left foot back, plank. Lower your knees, chest and chin. Inhale, low cobra. Pushing the hands down and drawing them back. Tops of the feet pushing down. Tuck the toes. Push up, plank. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees. Step the right foot forward. Low lunge. Meet the right foot with the left. Downward forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step the left foot back, step the right foot back, plank. Lower your knees, chest and chin. Inhale, low cobra. Drawing the heels of the hands back to help push the chest forward. Exhale, tuck the toes, push up, plank, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, gaze between the hands, step the left foot forward, step the right foot forward and fold. Inhale and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, rise. Gaze follows the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step the right foot back, step the left foot back, plank. Lower your knees, chest and chin. Inhale, low cobra. Untuck the feet. Downward facing dog. Let's pause here for a moment, pedal it out. Let's come up onto our tiptoes and push down through all 5 fingertips, all 10 fingertips, and then push down intentionally through the base of the index finger and the base of the thumb. Finding that nice stable base, and then reach our heels down, wrapping our upper arms, feeling our upper back broaden. Now pushing down equally through the whole hand, especially the base of the index finger. Inhale, pull forward to plank. And you're always welcome to drop your knees, but if you can reach out to the heels, reach out through the crown of the head. Your elbow crease is pointing forward towards the skinny side of the mat. Just be heavy with the hips. Exhale, raise the hips, downward facing dog. We're going to shift both feet, both heels to the left side. So keeping that weight distribution in the hands. So pushing down to the right hand to balance it out. And just find that nice side body stretch. And then return to center, lift the hips high, re-engage the hands, because the weight definitely gets shifted as you move. And we're going to try and maintain that a little bit better. We're going to shift both heels to the right. So the right hand definitely takes more, and see if you can re-engage, push down to that left hand. Feel that left body stretch. And then inhale, return to center. Raise those hips, come up to your tiptoes, push down to the hands, wrap your upper arms down and in, and reach the heels for the mat. Inhale, come to plank, crown of the head reaches forward. Lower your knees, chest and chin, upward dog. Tuck your toes. Push up to plank, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, gaze between your hands, step your right foot forward, low lunge. So let's wiggle through our hips, hands are on the mat. Reaching out to that back heel. And as we're ready, pushing down to that front heel, reaching out to that back heel. Your inner thighs are squeezing together. As you're ready, rise up. I'm going to keep that upper back nice and broad, so wrap your pinkies in. As the crown of your head rises, really keeping those legs engaged, the left heel reaching back, right heel pushing down, checking in with that front knee. It should be right over the ankle, so maybe you lean forward into it a little bit more. Now we're going to slowly lower our right hand and come into a twist. And inhale, return that right hand up. We're going to spin down warrior two. So spin that left heel down into a perpendicular angle. Check in with that front knee, should be right over that right ankle. And extend out. A lot of energy pushing into the outside of the left foot. And wobble a little bit. Lean forward and lean back. Until the crown of the head finds where the center is. Check in with that knee. A lot of times the knee falls to the center. You want to be able to see those first two toes. Keep that stacked. Let's exhale, windmill the hands down. Push back, downward facing dog. And take a few breaths. If you have a vinyasa in your practice, you're welcome to take it. Otherwise, we'll just meet up in downward facing dog yet again. As we arrive, we'll bend our knees nice and deep, gaze between the hands, and step the left foot between the hands. Stabilizing ourselves, low lunge. Nice level back. Energy pushing down to the front heel, reaching out to the back heel. As we're ready, squeeze those inner thighs together, nice and stable. High lunge. Drawing those pinkies in towards each other. You can feel the shoulder blades broaden. Maybe you can relax them down. Feel where your hips are, so you can square them a little more. Look down your front knee. Maybe you can lean forward into it and get it right stacked over. We're going to come into a twist, so slowly lower that left hand and lower the right hand and find yourself a gentle twist. Re-engage the energy through that right heel. Legs are nice and strong. And inhale, high lunge. Bring the hands back up. And then spin that right heel down and out, perpendicular. Keeping that left knee nice and stable. It took me a long time, but I always, one teacher told me to put my hand here and then push my knee into it. So put your hand on the outside of your knee, then you can push to the outside, and it'll just train the body. So pushing down to that front heel, pushing out to the outside edge of that right foot, and then just lean forward and back just a little bit, trying to find that center. Gaze goes over the tip of that middle finger. And then exhale, windmill the hands down, downward facing dog. And you're welcome to come through a vinyasa, take a child's pose, or just meet us right here. Relaxing through the shoulders, lifting the hips high. Let's bend the knees again. Find our hands, gaze between the hands, and we're going to step our right foot forward. Low lunge. Find that nice stable body, the hips nice and squared to the center. Inhale and rise up as you're ready. Nice broad shoulders. We're going to find that twist again, so lower that right hand and open up. And maybe you stay right here, pushing energy out through that back heel, grounding down through that front heel. Or maybe you can come into a deeper twist, bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And drawing the right rib cage up towards the ceiling, opening up the heart. Keeping the legs nice and engaged. Pushing out to that back heel. Then inhale, unwind. Spin that back heel down, warrior two. Checking in with that front knee. Inhale, lean forward as far as you can. Invert the palm. Draw it up, reverse your warrior. Nice open right side body. Still the same leg formation as the high lunge. Oh no, as warrior two, excuse me. Inhale, return to warrior two. Gonna come into that side angle, so dropping the elbow to the right elbow to right knee. And then sweep your left arm down and around and open that chest up. Pushing out the outside edge of the left foot. Inhale, warrior two. You're going to straighten that front leg. Engage that quadricep. We're going to shift our hips towards the back as we lean forward. Keep leaning forward until you can't go anymore, and then go a little further. And then we're going to rotate the arms and the whole upper body. So the right hand comes to the outside of your right calf, and the left hand goes straight up in the air. So finding that nice triangle, nice open in the whole body, reaching in 5 directions. Inhale, turn to warrior two, bend into that front knee, find a moment where you're like, yeah, this is it. And then immediately exhale, windmill down, downward facing dog. Pedal it out, take a moment, come to child's pose, spin through your vinyasa, whatever you like today. And then we'll all be meeting downward facing dog. Remind yourself where your hands are. And bend the knees nice and deep. Gaze between the hands. And step the left foot forward. Low lunge. Find those feet. Inhale. High lunge. Hips are square to the front of the room. Energy reaching out to the back, down through the front. Nice and balanced. You're going to let that left hand come down and it'll follow the body around. And you're fine waiting right here. Or you can deepen the twist and bring the right elbow to the outside of your left knee. And have the left hand meet, pushing out through that right heel. Reaching the left rib cage up towards the ceiling. Breathing nice and deep. Inhale, return, high lunge. And then spin that back heel down, warrior two. Check in with that front knee. Maybe you're putting your left hand to the outside and just help push your knee into that hand. Energy pushing into the feet, the outside edge of that right foot. Let's lean forward, invert the palm, and draw it back. Nice big side bend, or opening up the side body. Feet are still nice and stable, legs are nice and strong. Inhale, return to warrior two. And exhale, side angle, left elbow to left knee. Sweep that right arm up and around. Finding that nice distance from the right heel all the way through your right fingertips. And inhale, turn to warrior two. Refine those legs. Let's straighten that front knee, engage that front quadricep. Shift the hips towards the back of the room. So the hips go towards the right, and then your body leans towards the left. Lean a little bit more. And then rotate just the arms and the upper body. And I like to grab hold of the outside edge of my calf. And you can just pull up on that. And it maintains that space through the contracted side of the body. Pushing down, nice strong feet. Reaching up with, pulling up on that left hand that's grabbing the calf. Crown of the head is reaching. And your next inhale, re-engage, come to warrior two. Exhale, windmill the hands down, downward facing dog. Take a minute. Few deep breathing breaths. Maybe you can, let's drop our knees and spread the knees nice and wide, bring our big toes together and push our hands down, pushing our hips back and wiggle them side to side. Let your forehead come to the mat and take a moment in child's pose. Yoga is supposed to be relaxing. And so your arms can come down to your sides if you want a more relaxed pose, or you can use your arms as a little bit of leverage and push your seat just a little bit deeper. Now let's push down into our hands, come forward, tuck our toes, downward facing dog. Bend our knees, and let's walk forward to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head reaches forward, shoulder blades squeeze together, and fold. Just let one knee bend deeply and the other. Let's step to the long side of our mat into a Prasarita Badakanasana. So wherever your legs are nice and you're feeling that groin stretch, so it doesn't have to be the extreme. We'll just let our head be heavy. Heels of your hands come in line with the heels of your feet. You can lean forward gently and then rock back and find the stretch that you want. And let's walk both hands over to the right and bend that right knee as appropriate. Get a little bit deeper into the groin, that upper thigh. And push down into the outside edge of that left foot. And we'll walk the hands back to center. Then bend into that left knee. And walk the hands over to the left. Pushing the outside edge of the right foot down. And walk the hands back to center. Over to the right. Maybe you can flex those toes back. And walk your hands over. Flex the right toes back. And so whatever it is your body wants, maybe you can release your hands up from the mat and just do a little pivoting. Whatever's good, or you're always welcome. Do it the easy way. Keep your hands down. And then let's walk our hands all the way to the front of the mat. Push back, downward facing dog. Let's find one more nice dog. So find the circles of your palms, push down to the base of the index finger, the base of the palm, the full palm ring. Push down to the 10 tips of the fingers. Draw your heels up, lifting your hips. Wrap your arms in towards the body and reach down with the heels. Inhale, lift the right foot high to the sky. We're going to bring our right ankle to the left wrist. And ideally, the right calf is parallel to the front of the mat, but that is certainly not how I am. So find yourself getting it ready for pigeon. So sit up nice and tall. Look behind you, see if your toe is all facing in the same direction as your foot, and readjust. Try and keep your hips square to the short end of the mat. And then exhale, keeping that spine long. Walk your elbows forward. And then come into this big hip opener, this pigeon stretch. So let the weight settle into your hips, nice and gradually. And you hold these hip openers for about a minute. And so you're welcome to readjust. And hopefully at some point you find a still space. But after a couple of seconds, couple rounds of breath, if you're like, maybe I can come off my elbows and bring my forehead down, you're welcome to do so. Just relaxing into that hip. And as you're ready, walk your hands back onto your shoulders. No rush. Tuck the left toes. Reach that right leg high to the sky. And set it down. Take a moment in your down dog. Re-engage, pushing down with the whole hand. And then we're going to inhale. Lift that left toes high to the mat, to the sky. And then we're going to exhale. Left ankle to right wrist. Throw it across. Untuck the back toes. Sit up nice and tall. And look back, see everything. Check your alignment. Most of the time, I'm pretty good, but sometimes I'm like, wow, I wouldn't have noticed that unless I looked. So good to check in. And as you're ready, maintain that long spine. Walk down, come onto your elbows. Maybe you have a block for your head. And notice how different the sides are. Not going to be the same. We use the sides differently. We'll just settle down. Stay with your breath. See if you can get your forehead come down to the mat. Staying with your breath, trying to keep your mind present. Letting your hips be heavy. And as you're ready, walk your hands back under your shoulders, tuck the right toes, lift the left foot high to the sky, and set it down. Let's walk our feet forward. We'll find ourselves in a squat just for a moment. So open that groin. And we'll come onto our backs. Bend the knees. So have your feet within the hips, so not touching, but not towards the edge of the mat. And see if you can reach down and tickle the backs of your heels. And you can walk them forward if it's more comfortable, an inch or two. Let's draw the shoulder blades under the body. So your upper outer arm is kind of coming under. And tuck the chin, find that length. We're going to come into bridge pose. So as you're ready, push your feet down, push your upper arms down, and then squeeze your glutes as you lift your hips. And then exhale, lower down one vertebra at a time. Inhale, squeeze the glutes, push your feet down, push down the upper arms. And exhale, lower down. Here we go again. We're going to hold it. Push the upper arms down, push the feet down. Maybe you find a clasp underneath the body. Pushing down with the arms, squeezing with the glutes, reaching the knees forward. Pushing into that mid chest. Then exhale, lower down. Take a few rounds of breath. Notice where the body is. We'll do one more. Inhale, push down with the feet, push down with the upper arms. Squeeze the glutes, reaching the hips towards the sky. And exhale, lower down. One vertebra at a time. Let's extend the left leg and draw your right knee up towards the body. And we'll take the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Right arm comes out to the T, and just find a twist. Gaze goes over the opposite shoulder. And inhale. Return to your flat back. Extend the right leg and draw the left knee up. Right hand to the outside of the left knee. And draw it over to the right. Lifting your hips slightly, helping your spine unwind. Gaze goes up over the opposite shoulder. And inhale. Return to center. Take a moment, bring the soles of your feet together. Badakanasana. Let's let both feet come to one side, rolling over to our sides. Take a moment. And using both hands, help yourself up to a comfortable seat. Let the crown of your head rise. Draw your hands together, thumbs to the base of the sternum. Let's take 3 breaths together. Inhaling and exhaling out through the nose. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Spirit in me recognizes and respects the spirit in you. Namaste.